Top 25 college football picks for week number 3. Let's get to it. Kansas State got really outplayed by Tulane last week, got outgained, they got rushed all over. And the money last week was all over Kansas State. So they know that the public likes to bet Kansas State. And that's why they set this line pretty high against Arizona, who really didn't look good in their first game, wasn't even close to covering. But Arizona's the right side here. I think they're the better team. I'm taking Arizona plus the points. Oklahoma State got incredibly lucky to beat Arkansas and cover last week at home. This week, they're on the road at Tulsa against a high-powered offense in Tulsa, but Tulsa hasn't played anybody, and they're really not in this kind of league against Oklahoma State. Even though Oklahoma State has a big game on deck against Utah next week, I think they're going to be sky high. And teams coming off wins like that, coming from behind, very uplifting, and they'll be focused for this one. I'm laying the points, 17.5 on the road at Tulsa. Ole Miss and Wake Forest. Last week, Wake Forest let Virginia pass on them for 341 yards. I wonder what Ole Miss is going to do. But this number's a little too high. 24 at home with Wake. And they're playing back-to-back home games. They don't have to travel. Listen, this is a little step up in competition for Ole Miss. And even though Ole Miss is a lot better than Wake Forest, 24 is a little too high. I'm taking the points with Wake at home. Alabama, Wisconsin. Wisconsin's one of the most overrated teams in the country. They don't even come close to covering their spread. First game, 24-point favorites. They win by a touchdown or something? Listen, Alabama didn't look good last week. They weren't even close to covering, but you're getting line value here. Game opened up 14. It's up to 16. If I had to play this game, which I'm not, I'm taking Alabama and I'm laying the points against a very overrated Wisconsin team. I like the touchdown home dog with South Carolina over LSU. This is going to be a wake-up call for Boston College. I'm laying it with Missouri. When was the last time the Hurricanes were a 34-point favorite? If I had to play the game, I'm not playing Ball State. I'd play the over in this game if I played anything. 37, I'm never laying 37 in any game. But seriously, when was the last time Miami was this big of a favorite? Are they that good? Here's some line value for you. Tulane, who covered last week against Kansas State, versus Oklahoma, who didn't last week. Oklahoma opened 12. They're up to 13. It's good up to 14, 2 touchdowns, but no more. I'm laying it with Oklahoma over Tulane at home. And remember, guys, I don't bet every one of these games. These aren't best bets. The best bets are like the Ohios, or last week I gave you UL Monroe plus 13, or San Jose State winning outright over Air Force. Those smaller schools, those are the ones that are really the best bets on the board, where you're going to find the most value and the most line mistakes. The top 25 are the sharpest lines you could possibly get. I don't know how Notre Dame's going to rebound after losing outright at home to Northern Illinois. They're laying 10. I'm not interested in laying that many points on the road against Purdue, but Notre Dame's probably the right side. Oregon will beat down Oregon State this week. Utah looked sluggish last week against Baylor. We had Baylor plus the points, and I'm not laying 21 with Utah, who's been, I think, a little overrated this year so far. Utah State plus the 3 touchdowns, I'll take it. This might be a real flat spot for Texas. They come off a big emotional game against Michigan. Now they got to play UTSA. UTSA just got blown out last week. Really blown out against Texas State. 35 is a lot of points. You really think Texas is going to be able to get up for this one? They probably will. I'm not taking UTSA. They're very overrated. I'll lay it with Texas. I think the Longhorns are out to prove something this year, and I think they're going to blow out every opponent they can. Georgia, Kentucky, not much line value here in this game. Game open 22, should be 23. I got to lay the points with Georgia. Just a better team over Kentucky. And Kentucky did not look good whatsoever last week as 10-point favorites against South Carolina. I'm laying it with Georgia if I had to play the game. And don't be afraid to lay those big points. Sometimes you just have to. Tennessee will crush Kent State. 56-0, something like that.